Exoplanets, worlds beyond our own. When we look up at the stars in the night sky, we're really seeing suns. Each one orbited by planets, just like Earth. There are likely billions of these solar systems out there, and some of them might even have life. But how do we find these distant worlds? What have we learned about them so far? Here's what we know about exoplanets, worlds beyond our own. A starry search for distant worlds. The first step in discovering an exoplanet is finding it. And that's not easy when these faraway worlds are literally dwarfed by their host stars. The easiest way to spot an exoplanet is to watch as it passes between its star and us. This method is called the transit method, and it's been the workhorse of exoplanet discovery since the first planet. Outside our solar system was confirmed in 1992. It works because when a planet passes in front of its star, it blocks a small amount of light. By looking at the spectrum of that light, scientists can tell whether or not the star's light was actually blocked by a planet. The trouble is, this method only works if the planet passes in front of its star from our vantage point. And it's also tricky, because not all stars have planets. In fact, only about 20% of stars within 100 light-years of Earth have been found to have planets. Scientists think that S, because most stars are too far away to observe well enough to see planets with current technology. And they also think that smaller stars may not have big gas giants like Jupiter orbiting them. To get around this problem, researchers have developed other ways to find exoplanets. One technique, called the radial velocity method, looks at the wobble of a star caused by the gravitational pull of an orbiting planet. Another approach involves looking at changes in a star's brightness as it's blocked by a passing planet. There's even a method that detects the gravitational lensing effect of exoplanets, which means the planet distorts the light of objects behind it, making them appear magnified and warped. But not all exoplanets are created equal. For example, hot Jupiters are gas giants that orbit very close to their stars. Some of them are so close that their atmospheres are literally cooked by their stars. There's also super-Earths, which are rocky planets that are bigger than Earth, but not quite as massive as Neptune. And then there are rogue planets, which don't orbit any star at all, but instead wander the galaxy as interstellar nomads. An ocean world. Once an exoplanet has been found, scientists want to learn everything they can about it. Astronomers use telescopes on Earth and in space to study the light that passes through a planet's atmosphere, allowing them to identify certain chemicals and even study the weather on distant worlds. In 2018, researchers announced the discovery of WASP-39b. It's an exoplanet about 7 times the size of Earth that orbits a star 700 light-years away. The planet is in the habitable zone of its star, meaning that it could have liquid water on its surface. Astronomers used the Hubble Space Telescope to look at the planet's atmosphere and found that it contained sodium, potassium, and carbon dioxide. They also detected clouds in the planet's sky, but surprisingly, they didn't see much of an oxygen signature. That suggests that WASP-39b might not have an ocean after all. Instead, the planet may have a rocky surface covered in ice, similar to Earth's moon, hot Jupiters, and other gassy worlds. While scientists haven't found a lot of potentially ocean worlds, they have found lots of hot Jupiters. These giant planets are extremely close to their stars, so they're incredibly hot. In fact, the hottest temperature ever recorded on a planet was on WASP-1b, a hot Jupiter that's about 11,000 light-years away. The planet is so close to its star that gravity actually pulls it into a giant oval shape. Hot Jupiters also have very thick atmospheres, which makes them look like giant balls of gas. But those atmospheres can be extremely dynamic. Researchers have seen storms on WASP-31b that are wider than Earth and last for years. And on WASP-43b, they've seen clouds that are made of diamonds bigger than grizzly bears. A rocky surprise. While many exoplanets are gas giants, scientists think that rocky worlds like Earth are more likely to have life. After all, life as we know it needs a solid surface to stand on. That's why astronomers were excited in 2020 when they found a planet the size of Earth that orbits a red dwarf 300 light-years away. The planet named GJ1214b is in the habitable zone of its star, meaning that it could have liquid water on its surface. But there's a catch. GJ1214b is probably an ocean world. It's so close to its star that gravity actually pulls it into a slightly oval shape, and it's made mostly of hydrogen and helium, just like Jupiter. However, scientists think that the planet could have a rocky core. If that's true, It could mean that rocky worlds are more common than astronomers thought. Glimpsing an atmosphere. One of the biggest challenges in studying exoplanets is getting enough light from them to analyze. Most are so far away that they appear as just a tiny dot in the sky. But sometimes, just sometimes, they pass in front of their star in a way that gives us a glimpse of their atmosphere. That's what happened in 2009 when an amateur astronomer discovered a planet that passed in front of its star every 2 days. The planet, known as HD 189733b, is about half the size of Jupiter and orbits a star 63 light-years away. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, scientists were able to study the light that passed through its atmosphere. They found that the planet has a thick, cloudy atmosphere that's full of silicate particles, the same stuff that makes up Earth's sand. They also found that the atmosphere has winds that blow faster than the speed of sound. What's more, the planet has a dark side and a light side, just like Earth. And the temperature on the dark side can reach 1,000 degrees Celsius, a new view of an old planet. Thanks to new telescopes and improved instruments, astronomers are taking another look at some of the first exoplanets they discovered. Take 51 Pegasi b, for example. It was the first exoplanet found orbiting a sun-like star, and it was discovered back in 1995. Astronomers originally thought that the planet was about the size of Jupiter and that it orbited very close to its star. But new observations from the European Space Agency Scorching satellite suggest that the planet is actually about twice the size of Earth and that it orbits much farther away from its star. The discovery could help scientists better understand how planets form and evolve. And it could also tell us more about the star itself. That's because the star is about 500 light-years away, and astronomers think that it may have an extra-large population of planets, glimpsing an alien sky. Some exoplanets are so close to their stars that they pass in front of them every few hours. That means that astronomers can watch the star's light change over time and see the planet's sky as it rotates. In 2013, researchers studied the light from a star that's 1,000 light-years away and found that it was being blocked by a planet every 11 days. The planet, known as WASP 33b, is about twice the size of Jupiter and orbits the star tightly, using the Hubble Space Telescope. Astronomers looked at the light that passed through the planet's atmosphere and saw that it had a beautiful blue sky. The sky is blue because the planet's atmosphere is full of hydrogen and helium, just like Jupiter's. The light gets scattered by the atmosphere's particles just like it does on Earth. But since the atmosphere on WASP 33b is much thicker than Earth's, the sky is much bluer, the discovery of water. In recent years, astronomers have found several exoplanets that may have oceans on their surfaces. And one of the most promising candidates is WASP 39b. This planet is about 7 times the size of Earth and orbits a star 700 light-years away. It's in the habitable zone of its star, meaning that it could have liquid water on its surface. But that's not all. Astronomers used the Hubble Space Telescope to look at the planet's atmosphere and found that it contains water vapor. The discovery suggests that the planet could have an ocean, but it could also mean that the planet has a lot of water in its atmosphere. Scientists aren't sure yet, but they hope to learn more in the next few years. More worlds to explore, with new telescopes and improved instruments. Astronomers are poised to make even more discoveries about exoplanets in the years to come. In fact, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, which launched in December of 2021, is specifically designed to study exoplanets. The telescope is so powerful that it should be able to detect the atmospheres of rocky worlds like Earth. It'll also be able to see the first galaxies that formed after the Big Bang. As we learn more about exoplanets, we'll be able to better understand how our solar system formed and evolved. We'll also be able to search for signs of life elsewhere in the galaxy. With so much to explore, the search for exoplanets is just beginning. From scorching hot gas giants to potentially ocean worlds, the planets outside our solar system are truly a diverse bunch. Thanks to new telescopes and improved instruments, we're learning more about them all the time. Maybe one day we'll even find another Earth, or maybe something even more strange. What do you think? Are we alone in the universe? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.